Hello, friends. Do you ever find yourself standing in the dairy aisle, just staring at that wall of milk cartons? It feels like there are 100 different kinds these days, and it can be downright confusing to know which one is right for you, especially as we get a bit older. And the stakes are high. The National Institutes of Health tells us that about 1 in 5 women over 50 has osteoporosis, a condition that weakens bones. And get this, researchers are now telling us that older adults may actually need more protein than their younger counterparts to fight off age-related muscle loss, a condition called sarcopenia that can affect our strength and independence. For years, we were told milk does a body good, but then we hear about lactose intolerance, which affects a huge number of us as we age. Or we worry about the saturated fat in our diet. It's enough to make you want to give up on milk altogether. But what if I told you that you don't have to give it up, and that the right milk can be one of the best tools in your toolbox for staying strong and independent in your golden years? In the next few minutes, we're going to cut through all that confusion. I'll give you the real inside scoop on the best milk choices for our bodies today. And you'll want to stick around for my number one pick. It's a real game changer for many folks. The truth is, the milk we grew up with might not be the best choice for us anymore. Our bodies change, and our nutritional needs change right along with them. Today, we're not just looking for one thing from our milk. We need calcium and vitamin D for our bones, high-quality protein for our muscles, something that's kind to our heart, and for many of us, something that doesn't upset our stomach. So here's our game plan. We're going to count down our top 5 milk choices for seniors, from the classic options to the new kids on the block. We'll break down the pros and cons of each one based on solid science from sources like the Mayo Clinic and the American Heart Association. Then, I'm going to share a bonus guide on how to become a nutrition label detective, so you can make the best choice no matter what brand is on the shelf. And I promise you, some of these might surprise you. This isn't just about taste, it's about taking control of your health, one glass at a time. The information we're covering is backed by solid research and recommendations from leading health organizations. Now, before we dive in, a quick but important reminder. This video is for informational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical advice. Always, and I mean always, talk to your personal physician or a qualified healthcare provider about your own health conditions and dietary needs. They know you best. Coming in at number 5 is the one we all remember from childhood: good old-fashioned whole milk. It's rich, it's creamy, and it's what many of us grew up on. And it's not without its merits. A single cup packs a solid 8 grams of high-quality protein, which is fantastic for helping maintain that all-important muscle mass. It also delivers a powerhouse of nutrients like vitamin B12, phosphorus, and of course, calcium, which are all vital for our health. But here's the rub, and it's a big one for us. That same cup of whole milk contains about 4.5 to 5 grams of saturated fat. The American Heart Association recommends we limit saturated fat to less than 6% of our daily calories, which is only about 13 grams for a 2,000-calorie diet. So one glass uses up a big chunk of your daily budget. Think of your arteries like highways. Too much saturated fat can be like causing a traffic jam of cholesterol buildup, which increases the risk for heart disease. And, of course, it has a full dose of lactose, which can cause that bloating, gas, and discomfort for many of us, as our bodies produce less of the lactase enzyme over time. So who is whole milk for? It might be an option in moderation if you don't have heart concerns and need to keep weight on. But if you're watching your cholesterol or have a history of heart disease, this is one you'll definitely want to talk to your doctor about. For most of us, there are better choices up the list. All right, at number 4, we have the milks that became the go-to when we all started paying more attention to fat, low-fat, and skim milk. And the logic was sound. You get the same fantastic 8 grams of high-quality protein and a big dose of calcium, often even more than whole milk because of how it's processed. But you slash the saturated fat way down. A cup of 1% milk has only about 1.5 grams of saturated fat, and Skim has less than half a gram. This is why organizations like the Mayo Clinic often recommend them for a heart-healthy diet. So what's the catch? It's that same old culprit, lactose. Stripping out the fat doesn't remove the milk sugar. So if dairy gives your digestive system a hard time, skim milk won't be any gentler than whole milk. It solves the fat problem, but not the digestion problem. This is a great, solid choice if you don't have lactose intolerance and want that dairy protein and calcium without the extra fat. It's a reliable workhorse. But if your stomach rumbles after a glass, don't worry, we've got options for you coming up. By the way, if you're finding this breakdown helpful, do me a quick favor and tap that like button. It really helps our channel reach more people who need this information. Thank you. Now we're moving into the plant-based aisle, which has exploded in recent years. At number 3, we're looking at 2 of the most popular, unsweetened almond and oat milk. The biggest pro right off the bat? No lactose, so they're a fantastic choice for digestive comfort. Almond milk is the lightweight champion, very low in calories, around 40 per cup, and it's a natural source of vitamin E, a great antioxidant. Oat milk is known for its creamy texture, making it a lovely substitute in coffee, and it contains some beneficial fiber. But you have to be a savvy shopper here. First, always buy unsweetened. The flavored versions can be loaded with added sugar, which we don't need. Second, and this is crucial, they have very different nutritional profiles. Unsweetened almond milk has very little protein, only about 1 gram per cup. That's not going to help us fight off that muscle loss we talked about. Oat milk, on the other hand, is much higher in carbohydrates, around 16 grams per cup compared to almond milk's 1 or 2 grams. If you're managing your blood sugar, that's something to be mindful of. Your action step here is to read the label. Look for 2 words, unsweetened and fortified. You want to make sure they've added calcium and vitamin D to make it more comparable to dairy milk. If you have diabetes, you might want to discuss oat milk with your doctor or dietitian to see how it fits into your carbohydrate budget. This brings us to number 2, an old-school plant-based milk that's making a big comeback for a very good reason: unsweetened soy milk. Why so high on the list? One word: protein. Unsweetened soy milk is the king of plant-based protein, delivering 7 to 9 grams per cup, which is right on par with dairy milk. This makes it an absolute champion if your goal is to maintain muscle strength, but you can't or don't want to drink dairy. It's a direct answer to that problem of age-related muscle loss we discussed earlier. The main considerations are allergies, as soy is a common allergen, and some people just don't prefer the taste. And just like the others, you've got to make sure you're buying the unsweetened version to avoid those sneaky added sugars. If you're looking for a dairy-free milk that truly supports your muscle health, unsweetened, fortified soy milk is one of the best choices you can make. It checks almost all the boxes: high protein, no lactose, and heart-friendly. And that brings us to our number 1 pick, the milk that, for many seniors, offers the best of all worlds. It is fortified, lactose-free dairy milk. Think about it. What are our biggest challenges? We need the high-quality protein and calcium from dairy, but we can't handle the lactose. This solves it. It's real dairy milk, so it has that complete, high-quality protein, about 8 grams, to support our muscles. It has all the calcium and is fortified with vitamin D for our bones. But the milk sugar, the lactose, has been broken down for you, so it's gentle on your digestive system. You get all the benefits of dairy, with none of the digestive drawbacks. It's the perfect compromise. The only real downside is that it can be a little more expensive than regular milk. but for the benefits it provides, many people find it's well worth the small extra cost. If you've given up on milk because of how it makes you feel, I strongly encourage you to give lactose-free milk a try. Look for the low-fat, 1% or skim versions to keep it heart-healthy. It could be the simple switch that allows you to bring all those powerful dairy nutrients back into your diet comfortably. I'm really curious to hear from you all. What's your go-to milk right now? Have you tried any of these? Let me know down in the comments section below. I read every single one. Okay, so we've ranked our top choices, but new brands pop up all the time. So I want to give you the skills to be your own health detective. It's not as hard as it looks. You just need to know where to look on that nutrition facts label. Let's break it down into 3 simple steps. Step 1. The calcium and vitamin D check. First, look for calcium and vitamin D. For calcium, you want to see a percent daily value or percent DV of at least 20 to 25%. That means 1 glass is giving you a quarter of what you need for the whole day. For vitamin D, look for it to be fortified. This is so important because vitamin D acts like a key that unlocks the door, allowing your body to actually absorb and use that calcium to strengthen your bones. Without the key, the calcium can't get in. So, high calcium plus fortified with vitamin D is your power couple for bone health. Step 2. The sugar and fat scan. Second, scan for sugar and fat. You'll see total sugars. In dairy milk, this is mostly natural lactose. But the line you really want to watch is includes added sugars. This should be as close to 0 as possible. That's the stuff they add for flavor, and it just adds empty calories. Next, glance at saturated fat. Remember our goal from the American Heart Association? We want this number to be low. Choosing a milk with 5% DV or less for saturated fat is a great rule of thumb. Step 3. The protein power-up. Finally, check the protein. If maintaining muscle and strength is a priority for you, and it should be, look for a milk that gives you at least 7 or 8 grams of protein per serving. This is where you'll see the big difference between dairy or soy milk versus something like almond milk. This simple 3-step check, calcium, D, sugar, fat, and protein, will tell you almost everything you need to know to make a great choice. So there you have it. The milk aisle doesn't have to be a mystery. The most important thing we've learned today is that the best milk is the one that's best for you. Whether you need the protein powerhouse of soy, the digestive ease of lactose-free, or the low-fat reliability of Skim, you are now equipped to make a choice that serves your body and your health goals. Thank you so much for joining me today. If this video was helpful, please hit that subscribe button and share it with a friend who might be just as confused in the dairy aisle as we used to be. Here's to your health and to making choices that help us all stay fit as a fiddle. I'll see you in the next video.